Okay, game 3, Sebs 2087. So let's try and attempt for the King's Gambit, but let's try and play a bit more solidly, just classic Ruy Lopez sort of thing. So I let him play the dreaded Marshall Gambit. No, he's not going to play that anyway. So D4 here. Do you think knight D2 or D5? D5, I'm not sure. Closing up at the moment. Maybe just this knight F1 to E3 or something. To E3 to D5. It's G3 protecting E4. Where's the bishop going anyway? Okay, take care. Protect C4 again. He's going to play C5. Any vulnerabilities here? The bishop looks a bit strange on D8. Where should it be? I wonder. Okay, if I play D5, how long to take to get to E5 for black? In the meantime, I'll use that F5 skill. I think I will play D5 unless there's a knight D5. Vulnerability, D5. What else? I could just take the queen. No, I think I prefer this. Blocks out that bishop. I can come there to go to E5. Bishop F4. I'll lose that. B3 takes and bishop B2. And then knight F5. That bishop would be good on diagonal. It's B3 here. Oh, he hasn't gone to E5, so bishop B2 anyway. I like the bishops. Juicy bishops next to each other. Ready for an attack. So maybe knight F5. Yeah, knight F5. It's not loose, is it? Because that's protecting that. So if knight D5 takes, I'm always on that. E4 is not loose at the moment, thanks to that bishop being keep the C4 square under control. Queen D2 to G5, that's sort of unsubtle for G7, but the bishop and knight might justify it. Queen D2 to G5. Simple move, Queen D2. There's also Queen D4 hitting B6, but it's protected by that bishop at the moment. Queen D2. Looks fairly strong, Queen D2. G6 looks as though that's risky because of knight H6 and knight G4. This bishop looks very nice on this diagonal. Okay, so Queen D2 looks nice. Any other ideas? E5 will be dropping that off. Pieces seem optimal. Even this rook seems useful for eyeing A6. So I think black's in an uncomfortable position here. These bishops, the bishop's in the way of the rook. Usually black has some bit of pressure on c5. It's not the case here. This knight's also out of the game, deprived of the c4 square. The bishop's a bit out of the game. I don't know. It's hard to suggest a move for black here. Maybe H6 is a useful defensive move against Queen D2 and Queen G5. No, knight H6 at the moment because the bishop is protecting F6, so it takes. Knight's protected. But I don't know, if Queen D2, H6, maybe G4. Just the idea of G5. Black's pieces are not really in a position to exploit that weakness, I think. G4, unless there's a piece sack in the centre with knight D5. Exposing the diagonal a bit. So a big think here from my opponent. Big think. is Sebs anyway? Sebs. Oh no, it's a 10-year-old prodigy. Playing a 10-year-old prodigy, but he used a lot of time there. Right, so Queen D2 or Queen D4. Actually, the knight is vulnerable now. Can I use that fact? Queen D2, Queen D4. Queen D4 forced black to waste a bit of time. Isn't it needed? It's just, he wants to move his rook there anyway, so I think Queen D2. Maybe I'm going to have to play Bishop D3 now, if Rook C8. Oh, he's played that H6 move. Can I just brutally play knight H6? Or is it needed? G4. This might be a piece sack here. G4, there's always knight H7s. E5? E5, is that any good? Just takes, and he takes on D5 with Queen say. That's not that vulnerable. Queen E3 could force a bit of a waste of time with that knight if it has to go there. Queen E3 sets up vulnerability on this potentially. Queen E3, Queen E7. What about just Queen F4 threatening knight H6? Queen F4. So without using a pawn move yet, resisting the urge to use a pawn move, because there's always going to be a punishment usually with something horrible, you know, a piece sack from black, just to expose these weaknesses. But okay, so Queen G4 here threatens actually almost knight H6 for winning the queen. If this knight wasn't there, Bishop D4 chased the knight. Well, here. Surely Bishop F6, because knight takes Queen G7. Bit overloaded, isn't it, that's position. So. Okay, so piece down. Bishop D4 could be good, just chasing that knight. And, reserving knight takes H6. I will take that knight, because if it takes, I'll win the knight on H5. He's resigned. Okay, bit of a crush, but my opponent's only 10 years old. But he's apparently the Norwegian champion for the under 11 and under 10. I think Norway have a good junior program at the moment, so Sebastian, anyway. Good junior program, so but I think this was played passively from black. This opening. He's just given me all the classic kind of cards. I mean, this bishop was especially dangerous. Queen coming to F4 threatens just immediately knight H6 and Bishop F6. Something that might be stronger than the G4 plan that I mentioned. I think knight H7 just keeping a grip on G5 of G4. This was just really dangerous, just simply eyeing G7 with 3 pieces. Knight, Bishop and Queen. So black's losing a piece, losing another piece. And he ended off. Comments or questions on YouTube. 3 out of 3 today. Thanks very much.